Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past spoiler tournament. This is a Week 5 matchup between Kyong and Eriror. They are two of our four 4-0 runners, so this is one of our two undefeated matchups for the week. I am Mercer. I'm joined today on commentary by Clearmouse. How are you doing today?
Mercer, I am so excited for this match. I'm doing quite well. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well as well. I was very happy to see this one at a convenient time for me to watch it, and in this case, talk about it. And I'm definitely looking forward to seeing these two face off.
Yeah, we have Kyong, who is last year's Spoiler Log tournament champion, undefeated so far, certainly with his 4-0 record, facing off against Eri, who is, I believe, one of 5 people who has a 1:23 NMG time. These guys are so good at execution. I mean, this should be an absolute treat for us. And we can actually see Eri actually in chat. One of the features, I guess, about a spoiler log tournament is that the runners are not only allowed to look at each other's streams, they're also allowed to look at the restream and join us in chat. So if you want to say hi to Eri, wish him luck.
Or if you want to be maybe bitter about him having that much extra time on this 15-minute study period they get with the log as one of the lesser runners in the tournament, you can do that as well, or at least I am a little bit jealous.
It looks like we are off. Eri starting on a sync. Kyong doing the same thing, does not need anything from the Sanctuary chest. So one thing to note about these seeds, there was a recent update to the ALTTPR randomizer code, release 31.0.5, released just last night. One of the notable features is that the save and quit delay is no longer applicable. So you will definitely see these guys save and quit most likely a lot more frequently than probably before.
Yeah, it does change the math on when it's worth walking out and fluting out of certain locations. They may also, just out of the last few months of muscle memory, hit start too many times in a row and accidentally quit to Link's house instead of where they want to go. So look forward to that too.
Kyong picking up 3 bombs and 10 arrows, whereas Eri decides to skip the 10 arrows. So we'll see in this case if these 10 arrows will work to Kyong's advantage.
Yeah, other than the lamp, mostly just resources, some small amount of money, bombs, and arrows out of the well and Blind's hideout.
The lamp certainly is a very nice quality of life item to have. No more dark rooms for these guys. So certainly these guys can, go at their full capacity. But also it could be our first and requisite fire source.
Yep, but there's the fire rod, so never mind. Evidently not a stacked Kakariko today, the lamp and fire rod being the only items of note picked up by our runners.
Yeah, and it looks like they actually, so they are actually quite low just in terms of on resources. They have 3 bombs, which is certainly doable, but they only have also 30 rupees if they need, and they, right now they have no magic to use the fire rod, so if they need to do any combat or immediate combat, they will need to find some more resources, like more money to buy more bombs, or hopefully there's like a sword or something else that's sitting around, maybe a magic refill.
Yeah, if this is just a trip to the back of the old man's house, then that's not too bad. And there is a sword.
So we have our first permanent weapon, along with picking up some extra money. So I think both runners are on 3 heart pieces. This certainly could be planned for them, looking for safeties along the way. You may not always be so fortuitous to find full heart containers. So if you can find heart pieces for them to make a full heart container, that is certainly to your advantage. And if either of these players did that, certainly not expect any less from their amazing routing and planning.
Yeah, and they're both heading on into Eastern. We can see from the tracker that this is a crystal. Desert, Hera, and Swamp are our pendants today. So if they don't get a bow, they can't finish this. They may just be retrieving something necessary to progress in the seed, or maybe there's a vanilla bow in here.
Yeah, speaking of our tracker, shoutouts to Oddwalls, who is behind the scenes clicking the buttons for us today. And you might notice that, as Mercer mentioned, that all of our pendants and crystals have already been pre-marked. This is mainly because the runners have a spoiler log as is, so they have access to the knowledge of pendants and crystals. So the chances of us seeing a map check from either of these guys most likely is less than 0.
Yeah, we do find the mirror here. Right now, that doesn't give us access to anything, but they're both continuing on, so clearly there's something else of value here. And both of them heading towards that vanilla big key chest. This is a chest that you get to skip a lot of the time in spoiler log if it doesn't actually have the big key. But today the big key is vanilla.
Both of them pulling out the damage boost off of the poke boy, getting the big key very nicely, especially on 3 hearts. It's always a little bit nervous for runners, but I mean these guys pull it off no problems. Did you see that, Mercer?
So we've got our lamp, we've got our cape, we've got a sword.
Eri picking up a 4 heart piece in Link's house that would give him an extra heart container, whereas Kyong is currently sitting at 3. This could be certainly early on and on low percent Cs. I mean, this certainly could be like a very nice safety that Eri has.
There's a magic refill for their cape and their fire rod, as well as half magic going forward.
Half magic plus fire rod, certainly always a very nice sight to see. Kyong deciding to put that fire rod half magic to good use here, finishing off Molten's pretty quickly. Looks like we got a moon pearl out of Mini Moldorm. Kyong picking up his 4th heart piece, giving him an extra heart container as well. Looks like Kyong and Eri both also picked up a fairy in a bottle. This is also a very nice safety. Also could be something else that can.
Yeah, the good part of that is that they do have the mirror, so the fairy isn't going to get in the way of any death warps. Both of them on exactly their last bomb try. Okay, of course I say that, and then Kyong gets multiple bomb drops.
Kyong is making luck for himself. We did see Eri picking up a hook shot, which Kyong will get very shortly here. So far, both runners following a almost the same path. Certainly, just based on their items, though, it looks like it's pretty linear routing so far.
Yeah, and let's see. I don't think they're heading for the back of Escape. No, time to climb the tower and meet the wizard.
Well, if anyone can defeat Aga Tower on Fire Sword with 4 hearts, it's these guys. Although they do have Fire Rod and Half Run, so that would certainly make some of these rooms a bit easier.
Yeah, Fire Rod, if not just easier, it's faster than using the, fighter sword on like those gold guys.
See, I mean, but the seed is like just so nice to them. I mean, most of the time when you're climb Aga Tower, you're not blessed with Fire Rod and Half Magic, right? You're stuck with Fighter Sword and Cape. I mean, these guys have such like firepower, like on their side today.
Oh, and Kyong gets bodied by a guard there. Let's see just how rude Aga decides to be today. And Eriror continuing to use the Fire Rod, as is Kyong, just going through kind of this rope climb.
Yeah, both of these guys certainly very skilled in NMG. I would imagine there are very few problems for both these runners.
Yeah, Eriror just using the hook shot to get past those guards on stun. You gotta guess on the number of blue balls Aga is gonna send our runners' way today.
And unlike an NMG run, the number of blue balls is seeded between these two runners. So then that just means that both runners will have the same number of blue balls. So at least so you see Eri getting 10 blue balls, which I certainly don't wish upon him. You will also see Kyong get the same number.
It's a welcome start with 2 right at the beginning.
Is that 3?
But gets an energy shot for the 3rd one. And the first shot of each cycle is always an energy shot, and the rest have a 50-50 chance of being either a water attack or the normal reflectable energy shot. Not too bad. Now our runners have an extra challenge the rest of the seed. With Aga defeated and Mirror in hand, they have to remember that save and quitting in the Dark World will put them on top of the pyramid. As we get a bow off the pyramid.
Alright, so looking at their timers, I think Eri made it to the Dark World right at the 12-minute mark. Kyong currently about 8 seconds behind. However, this difference in time is literally like inconsequential. The lead can change from just so many things.
Both our runners, just as a note, at exactly 111 rupees, don't get hit after you've got Kiki.
I think with 4 hearts, Mercer, maybe the general sentiment just be don't get hit. Although I will say, I agree with you that if getting hit with Kiki right now would probably be also not like they would need to go back and find more reviews.
Yeah, and we saw both of them kind of going out of their way for extra loopies earlier, so that was very well planned.
Certainly from previous races in this tournament, we know that Eri and Kyong are both very, very excellent at resource management.
Looks like we're going to see some different routing through pod, though.
Perhaps there is something that on the bow side that Eri wants. Using his last bomb, so hopefully, but at the end he can always pick up some more. Meanwhile, Kyong is making his way to the back of pod, so perhaps he finds something here. Looks like either the Dark Maze. That bomb jump is so beautiful. First try. No buffering, just throw a couple bombs, like move a couple pixels, and you're in the Dark Maze.
Okay, gets a heart container and some flippers, and then nopes out of there.
Interesting. So Eri got the big key. Looks like then he's also making his way to the back, but I guess that indicates then that there's probably nothing in the big chest. Or perhaps Eri is interested in finishing pod immediately. Oh, no, sorry, they don't have the hammer. Unless the hammer's here.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting. It looks like this may just be getting flippers for West Dark World access. Given that both runners have done that now, I feel okay mentioning we did actually see a race in this tournament more or less decided by a similar situation where flippers were necessary for West Dark World access, and they were in pod, and they were the only reason to go in pod, and a Ancilla glitch to fake flipper it was pretty much the decisive factor in that race. But it doesn't look like either runner went for that this time.
We see that Eri did save and quit as well. Notice there was a significant lack of delay that he could just immediately start playing. Alright, so we see the Kyong is in Skull Woods after making his way out of pod. Looks like Eri is heading towards the same direction. Perhaps he also is interested in following Kyong here. Now, certainly one thing is that Eri chose to get the big key during his time in pod, whereas Kyong did not. But because pod is a crystal, Kyong will have to go back and get that big key, certainly for a second time around. Whereas Kyong does not have to.
And Kyung finds the flute in Skullwoods. Doesn't appear to be interested in fighting Mothula right now.
Half magic and fire rod certainly can be, it would certainly make the fight easier, but given that these guys are on 5 hearts, it's certainly not super safe. I have no doubts about these, these runners' capabilities, but certainly it's not a comfortable fight.
Yeah, and it may just be, even if you can do it, it might just be faster to come back later with a better sword, such as that Master Sword. You see Eriror's fairy get burned to a death to the mummy there in Skull Woods. looks like Eriror is gonna so just head up to Thieves Town. Getting a little bullied by this thief in Thieves Town.
Yeah, he took Aries. Oh no, Aries got the bomb back. But certainly, I think what probably annoys these runners the most is that it's just like the little time losses here and there. It's not even probably about the lack of resources at this point.
Yeah, there's bombs under the pots in the one room where you need them in Thieves Town. Though, you know, there are other places along the way. Eriror could really use a bomb drop off an enemy at some point to catch up to Kyong there. Or maybe there'll just be some in a chest along the way. There is going to need to be a little oh.
Yeah, that Zizag, I think he was hiding underneath that like bridge ledge, so wasn't as visible as probably he should have been.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure that might have been a health refill death warp, rather than going into the back on 2 hearts.
Oh, interesting.
It also may not have been, I'm not sure. Eriror says it will not.
Eri, yes, Eri confirming what we have been postulating about. The Dark World in general is not kind. It's certainly in the vanilla game. Once you get to the Dark World, the difficulty of this game certainly ramps up quite a bit. And given that these runners are doing essentially low percent gaming, and these guys have in this case like 5 hearts each, they are significantly underhearted at this point for the game. So certainly it makes things even more difficult.
I mean, you can say it ramps up, but you do have that fighter sword Moldarm fight in Light World. And we find our first piece of traditional Dark World access here in Thieves Town with our first glove.
Yeah, notice that Kyong in this case did not have any glove. That is our first glove. So he's not able to pick up the rock here to give him like a small shortcut. So he did actually have to go the long way around. Alright, Kyong looking at fighting blind. As long as he follows the script, he should be fine. So Kyong does have the Master Sword. It does not matter what level sword you have in terms of damage. The line will always be 9 hits. The more convenient thing about the Master Sword is that it has a slightly longer reach than the Fighter Sword, so that will certainly make things a little bit more convenient.
So far, so good. Does take... Oh!
To answer a question in chat, Eri lost his fairy in Skull Woods. Kyong has just used up his fairy right here.
Yep, but certainly better than having to walk back. We might see Eriror do something with the cape. We might not.
He does have half magic. And only 1 heart.
Yeah, it does get to a second heart here, which I think will still kill with like direct contact with the head, but will survive a fireball. Or alternatively, he'll just do the script perfectly and, you know, move on.
Alright, Kyong, first of our runners to make his way up to Death Mountain. Having the hook shot and the mirror, he certainly has a lot of options here for being up here. And looks like he gets dead rocks, unfortunately. That is it's a very pesky location for that guy to be in. was a very nice maneuvering by Kyong to avoid the Tektites. Those Tektites certainly can hurt, so kudos to Kyong for making his way through unscathed.
And we do see a blue mail pickup. That's a pretty nice safety.
It looks like nothing in Upper Paradox Cave. Yeah, the blue mail is certainly arguably one of the best defensive upgrades, mainly because it halves most enemies' damage, so it's almost like having like another roll cards. We see Eri finding a tempered sword in Spectacle Rock. Kyong makes his way through Spiral Cave, sans boots, unfortunately, which kind of probably indicates that boots are probably not an option for these guys. Otherwise, they may choose to put off Spiral Cave until they get it.
Yeah, though if this is where the progression is, you just gotta do it, and it is.
This is where the progression is.
Oh, that is an unfortunate.
Eri, that is a mean dead rock.
At least you're able to despawn it.
One thing about some of these more experienced runners is that certainly, probably the more runs they've done, the more experience they've had with deck rocks. So chances are they probably know when to kind of sit out the extra 7 to 8 seconds, whereas try and like despawn them off screen.
And we do just see them trading positions here. We'll sync back up after these checks. Really, the only difference at this point is Eriror having the pod big key already in hand.
Yeah, it actually looks like Eri did not stop by the bottom of Paradox Cave to get his extra bottle and blue mail. So Kyong does have a little bit of safety over him.
Yep. So showing some more confidence in execution there. And as long as it doesn't kill him at any point, that'll save a decent chunk of time, like solid 15 seconds or so. Just don't take a death.
Yeah, this game's easy as long as you never get hit, right?
I wouldn't be the one who'd be able to tell you anything about that.
Simultaneous smith grabs. So something could be on the smith himself. Certainly with the mirror, this makes things very convenient. They could also, or this could be something in the purple chest. Because you turn in the smith first before you can access the purple chest.
I mean, the heart container's nice, but I don't think they went this far out of their way for one, so probably the purple chest. Given no sign of the boots, at least they have hookshot and flute for mobility. There is Arcane of Samaria. Okay, we see Eri pick up a blue potion from the magic shop. And then looks like this is Ice Palace on his side as Kyong heads into Mire Shed. So really our first real divergence of the seed.
So, Eri does not have a hammer. So if he wants to finish Ice Palace, he will need to find the hammer here, or this could be a single dip to get something, and then he will mirror back out. Certainly having a Key in Samaria for Ice Palace is something I think it's definitely a preference for runners today, especially with Icebreaker.
Yeah, though I'm not totally sure which chests you can and can't get to for Icebreaker without the hammer. I'm gonna be honest, I've never really thought about it that much.
Yeah, given that Eri is not doing Icebreaker, perhaps that means then he thinks that Icebreaker either isn't worth it, like because he needs to get to another location first, or it's just different running in this case. Without the hammer, you certainly can't get that that second chest that you get like within the room with like with the tongue, because I think you need a hammer to pick up the rock there, or you need a hammer to pound the peg so you can pick up the rock. That was a very, very close fall for Eri. That was a bit tense. Probably one of the downsides or dangers of using the Japanese 1.0 version for the randomizer is that you can also take damage while falling. And so I don't know how close those freeze were to Eri, but he certainly took damage, and then was worried that as Eri was falling, there was going to be some side splash damage that then Eri's just going to die in Ice Palace, and that would have been sad.
I believe that was the big key in iced tea room. Going to burn that blue potion. And then in the big chest is the hammer.
What a great find in the big chest of Ice Palace, huh?
Yeah, I'm guessing that would not be an early find for most runners in a blind seed. On Kyong's side, Vitreous goes down pretty quickly.
Alright, so this is Kyong's second crystal. Oh, Eri. Oh, Eri. Don't play with us. Alright, takes down Cold Stairs, 0 problems. I never count those. Not worried at all.
And looks like Kyong heading towards ice for that hammer.
Yep, it seems like, yeah, based on what both these runners found in their respective dungeons, Kyong and Mire and Area and Ice, it did not actually look like there was anything that would have helped them in the other dungeons, so it really does seem like these dungeons were pretty interchangeable. And so the runners can just do them at their discretion. Discretion being having 6 hearts.
Well, yes. And you see Eriror heading towards Pod and probably Eastern as well.
Yeah, certainly a double dip required of Eastern because we needed the cape in this case to beat Agus to get Dark World access, and the bow was sitting on the pyramid, so there was no way that Eri could have completed Eastern. But with the bow in hand, with the hammer in hand, with the big key in hand, he can clear Pod. And then certainly because in the Dark World he can just mirror and just do defeat Eastern Palace as well.
I admit, I kind of like seeing the Ice Palace bomb jump again. I get to see it that often these days.
Ice Palace has really come a long way. Like the original developer intended way of clearing this dungeon was quite tedious, and then people kind of developed the Ice Palace bomb jump, and it became less tedious, and people were very very happy with it until people found Icebreaker, and then and now people I think refuse to come into Ice unless they have the Canis Maria.
Heading towards the Carnosaur fight.
Alright, so with 6 hearts, Eri taking down Helma, this is actually a little bit nicer in terms of damage output than like a normal NMG run, and as of course I'm saying this, Eri takes down Helma no problems. Yeah, I certainly, Eri is very well practiced on Helma, even though he can be a little bit unpredictable, but still Eri has no problems here. Meanwhile, Kyong picking up his hammer in Ice Palace, looks like he will also go after Cold Stare.
Similarly, gonna clear out Eastern, already have the big key there, so just a trip to Armos Knights in the back.
With an extremely fast pull stare fight.
Some nice fire rod shots there.
Okay, so I think at this point, just looking at what else the runners need in terms of required equipment. So because Turtle Rock is a crystal, we will certainly need the ice rod today. Is that it for what they need, potentially?
Between the two of them, yes, unless the GT Big Key is on the torch, in which case they will need boots.
Mm-hmm.
There's our ice rod. Just incidentally, that means that the 3 items in Eastern, even though we got them between 2 trips, were the ice rod, the magic mirror, and the cape that was required for Aga 1. So, you know.
It's just what we call convenience, right? You know, just put all your progression items in crystal dungeons. That's what players always like, right?
Yeah, so that they're forced double dips. That's really what every player is hoping for when Sauce Rollabot rolls it up.
Now, to be fair, I think if you were playing the Seed Blind, you were probably going to dip probably more than just Eastern twice, given where the hammer location is.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's a complete last location because you probably go to ice before you go to the one chest of swamp. Once Eri finishes out Mire and Kyong finishes out Pod and Eastern, we'll kind of get a good sense for just where they stand relative to each other.
The fact that these racers are just, I mean, they're both just so good at execution, right? I mean, it's just like they're just like keeping, you know, right next to each other, like pretty much as neck and neck. It's really just like an amazing display of execution for both these runners.
Yeah, I think Eri's going to come out just a little ahead once this is done, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, and so certainly early on, when both these runners decided to go get the flute out of Skull and then leave, and then go to Thieves Town, beat Thieves Town, activate the flute, certainly indicates that they're going to go back to Skull Boys and they're willing to take a double dip. Given that they both have Temper Sword at this point, certainly will make mocking a lot easier.
We actually did see our runners use different strategies to preserve the spooky glitch while setting that block down. I believe Kyong used a bow shot and Eri used a ice rod shot there. Kyong, of course, did not have the ice rod at the time. I don't know if the ice rod shot was just easier to time.
These runners are certainly very resourceful. It's like it doesn't really matter, like, you know, like what equipment you give them, they always find a way to keep spooky. See Eri putting that keep to good use, not taking any chances. A death of Vitreous would be quite painful, and especially against an opponent like Kyong, that time loss would be definitely an uphill battle to overcome.
Yeah, even with, there is a little bit of a difference in the runners' timers here. Even with that and the extra mirror transition, I think Eriror's just a little ahead here. So Kyong's gonna need to look to make up some difference.
I certainly hope Kyong is not gonna regret his blue mail pickup.
Yeah, but even that might allow him to play a little more dangerously at points. So could make up the time just by having it, even if it wouldn't actually save the life. Definitely still pretty tight.
So even though they will only need 4 hits with the Temper Sword for Mothula, Mothula has never really been known to be a kind boss. It's just in terms of RNG, so that certainly could be another difference maker here.
Just blazing through the slow woods, as you would kind of expect from our 4-0 runners. Okay, and that was maybe not exactly the movement that he was looking for, but gets it down pretty quickly there.
Yeah.
Let's see how Kyong's fight goes.
Yeah, I mean the first 3 hits were great, and then Moth decided to cooperate less.
Yeah, Kyong makes up some time there. It's a pretty picture-perfect fight.
Oh, yeah, all 4 hits just just landed very nicely. I certainly agree. That will definitely make us fun. And for a race as tight as this, I mean, like, seconds will matter. Movement. I think Dead Rocks can certainly be an equalizer here.
Yeah, I had to add
just like Eri walking in this room to reset the deadlocks.
And both our runners heading in toward their 7th crystal, about the 48-minute mark with this seed is pretty much a testament to them. Because there was a lot going on with this. Also a lot of walking. We still have not seen any hint of those boots.
It's certainly very nice if you can certainly end your crystal route on Death Mountain, whether it is Turtle Rock or Tower of Hera. I mean, Tower of Hero certainly is the most convenient, but if your last crystal is most commonly Turtle Rock because you're on the Ice Rod hunts, it's certainly just a short walk or dash, not these guys surrenders, to Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, if it's a bootsless seat the whole way through, do we have to downgrade them from runners to walkers?
One nice thing though about the seed, also an advantage of making this a spoiler log seed, is that it looks like they did not have to dip any pendant dungeons. So so 2 of the pendants were Desert and Para, which are relatively short dungeons, as being light world dungeons. However, and Go Mode Swamp can also be pretty quickly, but still, it is 3 dungeons you didn't have to touch.
Just a couple of keys up front. So while our runners are kind of going through the early bits of Turtle Rock, which aren't the most exciting, although this chain shop room's a little scary. That was a very nice setup and gets the big key for it. You should get both of them a follow. They are really, really good at this game. Fun to watch. Very good at stepping around the chain chomps instead of dying horribly as I would in that spot.
Y'all has to be a little bit careful here. Yeah, I think both runners ended up having some pretty bad chain chomp movements. So I'm not sure if it costs either runner a significant amount of time, though, relatively speaking. Ares certainly had, in this case, the cape as his primary item. Certainly, with half magic, he doesn't have to worry about magic depletion. You were saying, Mercer?
I was saying, oh no, as Eriror takes a death.
Oh no!
So that is going to hurt.
These chain chomps are not being kind.
Yeah, that's a pretty big setback for Eriror. Gonna probably need some similar sort of slip up on Kyong's side to catch up, which certainly is possible. Kyong at 2 hearts. Yeah, 4 hearts.
Yeah, I mean, like right. I mean, like these types of, these types of deaths really seem like it's it certainly can make things more one-sided than not. But I mean, I certainly don't want to wish any bad luck on Kyong, but sometimes RNG is just not favorable to you, and one misstep or one accidental movement, one way or another, can certainly just change the lead back.
Yeah. And especially on Eriror's side, the game really isn't balanced around you having 6 hearts in Green Mail and Turtle Rock. It's not actually possible to do that in Banal. Or it might be possible, but you'd have to go way out of your way for it to not actually finish out other dungeons.
Yeah, as far as I can tell as well, Kyong does not have any safeties. He used his berry early, and then also picked up an empty bottle. He did not go to the potion shop. So this is it.
Pretty phase 2 for Tronex though, and Kyong gets 7th crystal here, as well as a shield that you can't avoid picking up.
Okay, so as Kyong walks and makes his way to GT, certainly a very unfortunate scene if any that the boots were not still able to be found by our runners. Feel free to do the GT Big Key guessing game. So typically we ask for numbers 1 through 22, but because this is a spoiler log race, the runners know exactly where the GT Big Key is. You can certainly feel free to put down the exact location of where you think the GT Big Key is, as opposed to the number or check that they have.
And heading right. Right away. 7th heart container there as well. That's kind of nice. Gonna have to go to the left side just to get some small keys. Or at least one.
Harry having a very nice Tranix fight, taking him down, picking up 7th crystal, and he is ready to go to GT.
And we did actually have someone in chat get it totally right. Congratulations, Orange Koopa.
Kyong makes his way through the 2 mimic rooms very smoothly. Don't let these guys fool you into thinking that the gauntlet is easy, because it's not. Kyong just makes it look really easy.
Yeah, it's also not something you get nearly as much practice with bootsless as with boots. We'll see how much that impacts these two. I have seen it kind of throw runners off before. I expect that these two will probably be quite fine, but...
Yeah. To answer your question in chat, sure. Where do you think the 4th sword is?
I mean, I know, but...
Zelda, you are actually quite close to Bonk Rocks for where the 4th sword is. Try going a little north, but you also need boots, where there's a tree.
Yeah, a little rude, but fortunately the other three were in perfectly nice locations.
Certainly for these runners, having temper is certainly more than enough for them. See Tom is taking an accidental slip to fall here. We'll give a little bit time back to Eri. And to answer your question, chat, because I really doubt these guys are going to go back for the boots. The boots were in fact in GT. They were in the vanilla Big Key chest location, so locked behind Ice Amos. And if you recall that the GT Big Key was in Hope Room, the chances of them picking up the boots was very low this year. So if you also wanted the fourth sword, you go get GT Big Key, beat Ice Amos, go get the boots, mirror, or I guess you can beat GT, and then you can mirror and do Lumberjack to get the full sword before beating Ganon.
Kyong getting Moldorm 2 down. Show some patience waiting for a good position for that spin. Given that he's just passed it, the last chest location, I'll go ahead and mention Silvers were also boots locked. They were on the library. Very nice triple there from Kyong. So, gets the countdown, 3, 2, 1. Let's go kill Ganon. Eri has to backtrack for a key off the mini Helmosaur.
Alright, coming into the Ganon fight, Kyong does have Blue Mail, which can certainly, I think, help him here, but given that he does not have any other safeties, he will have to be careful. He does have half magic, he does have the hook shot. He does not have boots, so he will have to probably do this boostless, but I don't imagine this would be an issue for Kyong.
Yeah, and let's see, I think this is into phase 3. Yep. So, gets 1 cycles for phase 1 and 2.
Eri down to 1 heart. Oh man, Eri! It's like a constant battle here for wanting to live.
It's a triple on the first one. Oh, that's painful.
Yeah, I think that boost or that shot came like somewhat out of nowhere. I'm sorry, you were saying, Mercy?
I said Kyong just going through his Silverless Ganon phase 4. Just needs 12 total hits here. I think Eriror is just kind of waiting for this to finish and then is going to forfeit. Which I do not blame him for. Yeah, there it is.
I've lost track of how many serverless hits Kyong has, but looks like he has defeated Ganon, so he just needs to wait for the fanfare, cross the bridge, and then we can crown our race winner.
Yep. Good game to Kyong and to Eriror. Got a little unfortunate there at the end, but for for Kyong, finishing with an official time of 1 hour, 18 minutes, 15 seconds. That includes the 15 minutes study period for the logs. That's 1:03:15. I believe we are joined by our runners. So good game to both of you.
GG's, guys. Really great run for both of you.
No, GG's.
So, when you guys, I guess, first saw the spoiler log and started routing this, what were your first impressions?
It didn't seem too bad until I looked at the glove.
Yeah.
Then I realized that I needed to look at the flute. And when that was not in the light world, I realized it was Aga, but I had no idea. Then I looked at the swords, right? I was like, wait, that's there. I can't get the swords for Aga. And then I realized I had to find the cape. So there was like a little string of items that I needed to follow. And I was pretty happy with my route though. And I guess it was pretty straightforward with how you had to route it, but I'm glad that I found the route in time. Did you consider using the Ancilla fake flipper?
I only considered after I had jumped into the water. I was like, oh, maybe you could have done Ancilla here, huh?
Yeah, I considered it. And then I was like, well, I'm not consistent enough at it. And
yeah.
Well, if Kyong does it, I probably lose anyway. And if I fail it and then have to go to pot anyway, then I'm also way behind. So I just didn't want to take
Right,
risk.
yeah. I'm not great at it either, honestly. I failed a million times before, so even if I had seen it on the study period, I'm not sure if I would have gone for it.
Yeah, it's actually really funny. It's the second race this tournament where I've called where that exact situation came up of needing flippers to get to West Dark World and them being in pod and nothing else really being in pod. And in that one runner did do it, and it was pretty decisive. But if you're not consistent with it, I definitely don't blame you for getting the flippers.
Yeah, overall pretty happy. I think Kyong was right that I should have gotten the pod big key the second time around, because it was a pretty easy way to just get to the flippers, and then you can just go right side into Helma when you have the hammer. Otherwise, yeah, just nervousness and execution errors like from pod onwards. Until then, I was actually really happy, and I think I was a little bit ahead. But
Yeah, definitely. I made quite a few, like, on the very broad sense, I was pretty happy with my route, but I made quite a few small mistakes that just started adding up. Like Thieves Town, I forgot to get the big key on the way, and I was like, where the heck was the big key again? And then I didn't use the glove after getting blind.
Oh yeah,
quite a few small things like that.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, actually, for both your routings, I mean, it was almost the same. I think there was some divergence in that Kyong went to go do Mire first, whereas Eri went to go do Ice, but you guys just swapped. But other than that, I think routing was pretty much the same. One difference, just in terms of like equipment, was that Kyong decided to stop by and pick up boot mail. Did that cross your mind at all, Eri?
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I actually had it in my notes, but I felt a little bit behind because of the pod stuff and because I like died in Skullwoods once and then I had to play super safe in Thieves Town. I died in Thieves Town too, actually. So I felt I had to make up a little bit of time, and I think it was fine. Like on a good day, it probably would have worked out, but I don't know, just made a few errors. Like to the rock was just so painful. Like I could have gone back to Cape and then made it past the rotor anyway, but I don't know. It was rough.
I mean, you guys certainly put on like one heck of a show. I mean, like, yeah. So like some of the deaths I think that you took, Eri, like were kind of unexpected. I mean, just like some like one of the enemies was hidden. Sometimes like I was not expecting the Agahnim death at all. Like that looked like the ball just kind of like seemed to hit you like even after you slashed. So I mean, just these things were like definitely like unexpected. I mean, you certainly put on like an incredibly good show for us to watch.
Yeah. It was just execution-wise, it was such a terrible seed because, like, I think Kyong also just prefers to play with boots, right? And once I saw it was like deep in GT, I was like, oh no, why like this? It's like just let us play with like our hearts out, you know? I'm just trudging around without boots for over an hour. It's not really what I want to do. But that's the risk of playing randomizer.
Well, at least it was spoiler log, so it wasn't like 3 hours playing without boots or something.
Yeah, that's true. Or there's just like so many strats that you're used to doing. Like that's what went wrong in Solar Rock, because I have so many strats that like use the boots and like use the timing with the boots. And so the roller was like in a completely different position. So I thought it was fine. But then the Samaria shot got blocked by the roller and I was like, oh right, yeah, then I'm dead. And like it's stuff like that that gets you, and at once you just play more rando. I haven't really played that much rando lately, so it's mostly just NMG. Trying to, you know, get my wins on. And like stuff like that just gets you, and you get more experience. I need to get more experience with that again. But like that doesn't knock on like just how good Kyong is, right? Like you probably play a bit less than you used to, but like you're still so good, and your knowledge of like routing and just individual rooms is something I really admire.
I would certainly consider both of you facing each other's opponent to have an uphill battle. I mean, like I have no idea who's going to win out in this race. I mean, it's certainly very because it was a very pleasant watch. Certainly from the comp.
Yeah, I was scared for this race. I was quite a bit more nervous than I'm usually to do the race, because even though I've done dozens of these, I still get nervous before every single race of this, and I knew it wasn't gonna be easy at all.
Well, good news. Your reward for victory here is going to be another very difficult matchup next week to try and be actually the sole 6-0 runner. So something for you to look forward to. I certainly will be.
Certainly, this was one of, I think, probably the tightest challenges or face-offs that we've had so far. But you know, Eri, just because you took one loss here does not mean that your next round opponent will probably be that much easier.
No, for sure. Like, what is it like? I'm not sure if there's already like a lot of results for this week, but, like between
not yet.
Dante, Gerdo, One Up, Aussie, Christos, Salty Fry. Yeah, there's a lot of
whoever
potential
loses
ones.
from Furem in Pika.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I mean, should be a good one.
Cupcakes for everyone.
Yeah, I think basically everyone 3-1 or better in this tournament is crazy good at this game.
Yeah, I mean, again, the overall level of rando players has risen so much, and so it's not even people just being good at routing anymore. It's also that the average good rando player will be able to get a good time in energy as well. So, like, just mechanically, people are getting so much better, and that's like good execution players can't just build on their execution anymore. And of course, in spoiler log, I have a slight edge because of that, but it's still rough. It's still really rough. But it makes for really good races, and a lot of the spoiler log races have been amazing. Like the first 15 minutes are super stressful, and then it's like, just hope the route is good. And I do think that being able to watch your opponent makes for a nice addition, being able to adapt on the fly. Oh, he does that, then I can do this, and all that. It's definitely one of my favorite modes.
Yeah, I find it super impressive that you're able to have chat on, which I assume you're doing a lot of the typing, like during cutscenes, after bosses and all. But even so, I find it super impressive that you have that level of concentration.
It helps me distract from the nervousness of the gameplay.
actually, if you don't mind me asking, Kyong, how do you end up, I guess, like constructing a lot? Like, do you use like Control F, or like do you like find and replace? You have like a text editor? Because so Ari, I think, had posted in the Discord earlier of like handwritten paths and notes, which I was actually like pretty like impressed by. So I'm actually curious like what your approach is, Kyong.
I basically have the log. I have a would be something similar to what Ares has, I guess, but in a TXT file that I kind of fill up with the dungeon information, what chests in dungeons I need, and now I started keeping track as well of on multi-chest caves, which chests I need to open. I also do some notes on my map tracker as well. But that's basically it.
But that's it's very impressive that you can keep all this stuff together. So certainly just a testament to your skill here.
Yeah, basically,
Certainly very impressive.
it take around, I don't know, 9 minutes more or less to go through the whole log once, and then after that I use the last 6 minutes to build the route pretty much.
You build it in 6 minutes? Oh boy.
Yeah.
I used like 5 minutes to find all the items and write them down, and from there on out, like also to see if I need any of the like the fetch items, mushroom powder, which of the medallions and stuff. Then I look at what do I need for the pendants and crystals. Do I need to go in anything? And then I built the route.
Yeah, some of the things I kind of postpone for later, like I don't keep track of the route inside dungeons, for example. I do pod routing on the way to pod usually. I just note down something like, oh, I do need the bow, I do need something like that for what I need. But a lot of the route I do mid-run as well.
Yeah, I usually look for the hard containers. I usually do that during the run. So like my safeties are really just on the fly. I think that if I have boots, I can just do a seed with like 4 hearts green mill or something, which would be fine if I have tempered. This one was a bit rougher, of course. It's a lot harder to avoid damage without boots. But otherwise, like I just, oh, there's a boss heart container like in the dungeon, then I'll see if I can get to it relatively quickly. But most of that will usually be like either in Kakariko or Paradox Cave and all that stuff, because that's usually just more contained, where it's easier to find 1 or 2 hard containers in the same location. But yeah, otherwise it looks like we kind of have the same approach, which is cool. But you're way faster at actually building the route, I guess.
I mean, when I'm going through the location, obviously I am kind of thinking about where things are.
Mm-hmm.
I do like reading like sections of the world that are kind of close together, one after another, and things like that. But I don't actually like take a top-down view of everything. And okay, how do I really need this early? Do I need to like get this item in Eastern early, or can I leave it for pod or something like that? You know?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, any last thoughts on the seed before we kind of start to wrap it up here?
Early boots next time again, please.
I mean, I suppose that's a thought on the seed.
Oh, it was a super interesting seed. Like, I could probably talk about it some more, but
That's
I
fair.
don't want to take up all the airspace, right?
That's totally fair. I actually am curious if people had gotten this blind, how long it would have taken them to get to that hammer. But
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, it was a blast racing you, Kyong. It's been a while since we actually had a training race again. So yeah, I hope to see you around again, and good luck in the next few rounds.
Yeah, good luck. See you again in the top 8 then.
Hopefully.
I believe your rematch would be quite a fan favorite.
But yeah, so we do have a couple more races tonight on the schedule. Before we sign off here. Salty Fry versus Aussie 101 on this channel here in about half an hour. And then Revenant versus Chloe Prower on Speed Gaming 3 at 8:15 Eastern. Those are the main ones scheduled for tonight. And then there'll be a lot more Week 5 spoiler races throughout the week. Just kind of stay tuned to Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2 through 6 for those. Shout outs once more to our tracker. That was Odd Walls tonight, as well as my co-commentator Clearmouse. Clearmouse, you want to close us out with any last words?
Echoing everything you've said, Mercer. Eri, Kyong, thank you again so much for putting on a great race for us. Execution is always amazing to see. This was probably one of the closest matches, or closest in terms of skill level, at least in my opinion, for you guys. So it was very pleasant to see. Have a great night, and GG's again.